Well, hello! Today I'd like to do my first impressions of a TOZ Penkala Mirna. This is a pen made by the famous Mostra Penkala company, which later became the TOZ company, which stands for something that I don't quite remember in Croatian, because it was taken over when Croatia became part of Yugoslavia for a brief moment in time. But anyway, this is a beautiful pen. I have really had to fight myself to try it out because I love this company. So hopefully this pen turns out to be as good as I'm hoping. So you can tell from the box that I purchased the pen from myuberpens.com. Vintage pen, probably from the 1960s, I would guess, or 70s. I'm not actually sure. I'll try to find out when I actually do the review. And this is a good point to remind you that anything I say about this pen is a first impression only. Can really only get an idea about the pen after you've used it for a while. And I always try to do 2 or 3 full fills before I'll actually review a pen. Also looks like I may need to clean one corner of my lens. That's a me problem, not a you problem. Kind of a slim pen, piston filler. I love that tortoiseshell finish. And it has burgundy piston turning knob and a burgundy cap, which is quite nice. Around the cap band, it just says EMI over and over again, which has been another part of the TOZ brand. And that gorgeous tortoiseshell finish again, which looks like it won't be a demonstrator, but I'll be able to see the ink level. So you unscrew it. You're greeted with a semi-hooded nib that actually reminds me a bit of perhaps the Lamy 2000 if you were to unveil the more of the nib, or some of the vintage Lamy pens that I've reviewed in the past. The piston seems to be under a blind cap, which, okay, first impression, I thought that was a piston turning knob. This is the first time I have really handled the pen more than to look at it, because yes, I looked at it. And normally I will clean out my vintage pens, but I know that when I buy from myuberpens.com, I'm pretty safe. And no, that's not an advertisement, that's just a satisfied customer. So, enough looking at the pen, let's write with it. So with a pen like this, I would like to use a fairly suitable ink. I was hoping I had something kind of burgundy-ish down here, but I don't. So we're going to go with an ink from Japan. This is my first time using Kyonoto Keshimurasaki, which must be blue. Looks blue. Can't even get the lid off the bottle. God dang. Alrighty, so take off the blind cap. Well, I should see how it bubbles. Maybe I'll try to do this at the side a little so you can get... Oh yeah, nice bubbles. Oh, too close. I'm trying to bring you into the experience as best I can. You know, I rewatch these videos to see how I did. I judge. I'm probably a harsher critic on my own videos than you are. Some things, you know, I just have to accept for now. Other things I can improve. So that seems like something that may be improved. Alright, so wipe it off screen because I don't want you to see my inky cloth. Alrighty, so it is inked up. And let's put the cap sort of on. As anticipated, you can kind of tell the ink level. I could give you a better idea if I was holding this up to light, but, you know, limitations of my photographic situation and number of cameras. Okay, it gave me a little bit of a hard start. Hard to say, you know, I did the flushing there. Definitely not manufacturing oils in a pen this old, but could be some residue from something in it, or it just needs time to saturate the feed. That's another reason I don't just buy a pen, ink it up, and immediately say, yep, that's my opinion of it. Like I said, I've got to go through a few fills of this thing before I'm really sure where I stand with it. It seems to ride comfortably in my hand. It's not a huge pen. I could probably post it comfortably, and it's not, yeah, posted, it's not outlandish. Let's see, what was the ink? I can't spell it, so I need to grab the bottle and look how it's spelled, because yipe. K-yo. No. And this could also be the ink. That's the other possibility. So first thing people always ask, is it flex? It was marketed as having line variation by a company I bought it from. What I would say I'm getting when I put more pressure on it is more ink. I don't know that it's necessarily any wider. I definitely feel like I need to try this with a different ink, and I need to try the ink in a different pen. So I don't think either one's getting judged real fairly, and you never know, first time you put two things together, what the combination's going to be like. Wetness and flow. Also, the paper's been sitting down in the basement, so I just recently started running the dehumidifier again. If you hear the noise in the background of a dribbling water, that's what it is. Well, it's writing, Let's see, smear test. Wet enough when it is writing. Definitely, you could argue that's a lot of shading. I'm not real sure what that's meant to be. Reverse writing. A very scratchy and essentially useless extra fine. All right, and we'll do the Pierre Gustafson test so I can just get an idea how well it does keeping up a line. Okay, it's not skipping, I would say, but it definitely has times when not a lot of ink is coming out, which I think you saw in the writing sample. So I think I'll reserve judgment on that for now. And that's the thing when you do a first impression, is you don't know what's going to happen. I've been looking forward to this pen, and I've been looking forward to this ink, and together it just kind of, So I don't know. We'll find out as I write with it more with this ink, and then over time as I write with it as with other inks. And when I do the eventual review down the road, I'll have a good idea whether it's a good pen or not. Of course, being vintage, you may find one for sale, you may not. So, yeah. One more test I always like to do. Admittedly, this is a bit of a thick shirt, but okay, it took 3 tries, but it did go on the shirt without me having to lift up the clips. So I can carry it in my breast pocket, so I think that's a good result. So all in all, I love how it looks. I am going to reserve judgment on the writing experience. I think it feels good. It's just that whole getting ink on the paper thing, which could be the paper, could be the ink, could be the pen, could be the combination of all three. You never know, because there's like a triangle. Okay, triangles have 3 sides. There's a triangle of components that go into writing: the pen, the ink, and the paper. So Anyway, so that's the TOZ Penkala Mirna from Croatia. If and we'll see again down the road how I like the pen. So watch out for it in pens in use at various times through the year. And eventually I'll do a review. Like I said, first impression. This is not a final impression. This is just my gut feeling first get when I touch the pen. So take that for what it's worth. So I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.